Continuing in our series where we do a deep dive into 5 of our most recommended debt payoff methods, today we are going to talk in more depth about the highest to lowest method. What's up, everybody? I'm Alicia, and I'm a personal finance coach who is passionate about helping people break the paycheck to paycheck cycle so they can finally find some peace of mind when it comes to their money. All right, so what is the highest to lowest payment method? What it is pretty much what it sounds like. You're going to start by prioritizing that debt balance that has the highest payment per month. Once you get that one paid off, then you're going to stack the payment you were putting towards that first debt, and you're going to move on to the next debt that has the next highest monthly payment, and continuing on and on until your debts are officially paid off. So let's look at how this might play out in a real life example. I have a client who has 8 separate debt balances, and these balances range anywhere from $900 to $19,000. Within these debt balances, also her payments range anywhere from $53 per month to a whopping $480 per month. And if we're talking interest rates, her debt balances range anywhere from 0% to 28.5%. So there's a lot going on here, and with that, this client has a lot of options on which method would be best for her. After doing some coaching, we decided to run her numbers using the snowball method, the avalanche method, and the highest to lowest payment method. Once we ran these numbers, we found out that if she went with the snowball method and if she had $400 per month extra to put towards these debts, then she would have all of her debts paid off in 2.4 months, and she would pay nearly $6,000 in interest. And then when we ran her numbers using the avalanche method, we found that it would still take her 2.4 years to pay it off, but she would save around $600 in interest payments. And then when we ran her numbers with the highest to lowest payment method, we found that it would take her 2.5 months, so just one extra month, in paying off her debts. But get this, it would cost her an extra $1,000 in interest payments. So I'm not selling the highest to lowest payment method really well here with this example, but stick with me. If this client had a really tight budget, even to the point where she was having a hard time at covering her other expenses outside of her debts, like food or clothing or shelter or something like that, it might be really tempting for her to go ahead and pay off that highest payment first, which, remember, was almost $500. So in that scenario, adding an extra $500 to her budget would be so beneficial for her in so many ways. It would free up more cash for her to pay off her debts, and it would free up more cash for her to buy groceries or whatever it was. So that's really the only scenario that we would recommend doing the highest to lowest payment. Also, with that, we very rarely recommend using this method all the way through your debt payoff journey. For instance, this client might decide, you know what, I'm going to pay off this debt that's costing me $500 per month. But then after that, we might choose to go a different route, like with the snowball or avalanche method. I also would only recommend doing this highest to lowest method if you're able to pay off that balance quickly. So whether that means you're able to sell something where you can get this thing paid off as soon as possible, or get a second job for a short amount of time, the goal here is to be able to pay that balance off as quickly as possible. We're talking in like a month or two. If you can't do that, you might be better off switching over to the snowball method or the avalanche method from the start. Now, if this all seems a little overwhelming, or you know that one really smart expert is saying, gosh, this is the right way to pay off debt, but another expert is saying, no, this is the right way to pay off debt. And it's like, well, what the heck do I do? Well, that's what we are here for. We've got coaches on standby who are experts at informing you of what your options are. And then we coach you on figuring out what the best option is for you and how to implement it, as well as holding you accountable in your journey. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and schedule a call with one of our coaches using the link in the description box below. Also, if you missed our video where I walked you through our 5 most recommended debt payoff methods, you're going to want to check it out, which luckily you can do by following this link.